In this video, I'll show you how to provision the physical Nexus Dashboard nodes to create the cluster. But first, I'll show you some prerequisites to keep in mind to guarantee a successful deployment. It is always essential to review the prerequisites indicated in Prerequisites and Guidelines, but here I will mention some of them. Version 4.1 is compatible with the following hardware models: ND node G5S based on UCS M8 models, ND node L4 based on UCS M6 models, SE node G2 based on UCS M5 models. Each Nexus Dashboard node model is associated with a UCS server model. So the M8 model represents the latest Nexus Dashboard node model currently available. An installation and upgrade guide is available for each of these models, providing detailed information. At the time of the recording this video, the SE Node G2 model has already announced its end of life, so it can no longer be acquired. Now we will focus on how to properly wire the nodes. Each node must be connected via three interfaces. The Cisco Integrated Management Controller (CIMC), through which KVM will be used to configure the node, will use the management interface embedded in the server. The management network, port management 0 and management 1 on the MLOM card will be used. These interfaces are either 1 gigabit or 10 gigabits. The data network. The SE Node G2 uses the big 1455 card. The ND Node L4 can use either the two 10 gigabit ports on the NIC, the two 25 gigabits SFP ports on the NIC, or the big 1455 card. The ND Node G5S uses the optical connectors on port 3 and 4 located furthest to the right on the big 15425 card. Now let's talk about the management and data networks. The data network is used for backend, cluster, and infra connectivity for optimal performance. This network is essential for obtaining telemetry data about traffic on switches and fabrics. The management network is required to access the GUI, communicate with the DNS and NTP servers, upload firmware, and more. There are a couple of special considerations. The management and data networks must be on different subnets. If the data network needs to be changed, the cluster must be redeployed. Once the equipment is properly wired and we have access to the CIMC interface, we begin provisioning the node. So let's start the enablement process. When configuring the UCS server, an admin user and password were specified for the CIMC, so the first step is to log in. We can immediately initialize the KVM functionality, which will give us access to the Nexus Control Panel node configurator. Next, we just need to follow the wizard. The first step is to press Enter to start the process. Then, we need to define the password for admin and confirm it. Remember that we don't have a root user, but the password we just defined will be used for both admin and rescue user. Next, we add the IP address and subnet masks for the management network. We will use this IP address later to access the GUI and create the cluster. Next, we enter the gateway's IP address. Up to this point, the necessary configuration is complete. However, if we made a mistake, the last step asks if we want to reconfigure everything. If we select yes, we will start with the configuration. If we choose no, the configuration is complete and we just have to wait for the automatic process to finish. Once the node is provisioned, a message will appear indicating that we must log in into the IP URL we specified in the configuration using HTTPS to continue with the cluster creation. But we will talk about creating clusters later. I hope you found this helpful. See you next time.